Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here on the channel. My name is TannerFishies. In today's video, we are going to be discussing some new Ninjago Dragons Rising, just general series information, I'd say, coming at us from Ninjago series head writer Doc Wyatt over on Twitter. As I'm sure you guys know, we talk about his tweets quite a bit on this channel. It's always nice to get more context surrounding the Ninjago Dragons Rising TV series, and we as a fandom are super lucky that someone who actually writes for the show is willing to answer so many fan questions. Now for today's video, we have some very intriguing information about Lord Ras and his tribe, which we saw a glimpse of during Dragons Rising Season 2 Part 2. More on that here momentarily, but first I just wanted to give a quick disclaimer regarding the style of these news videos that often come in the form of tweets. Some folks have been asking why I censor the usernames of people who are actually asking the questions. However, it is a question that I have answered before, but I don't mind answering it again super quick. Now, essentially a long time ago, I used to make videos just like this, talking about Ninjago staff member tweets, but I would leave usernames of people asking questions uncensored, which I thought was okay to do, obviously, but someone took issue with that because in one of my videos that featured their question, a lot of people in my comment section were calling them stupid for asking that question, claiming that it was a dumb thing to ask. And as a result, that person complained and directly said that I was targeting her for bullying, which was not the case at all. So ever since then, usernames have been censored, but I've always said if the original person that asked the question wanted to let people know that they were the ones that asked the question in the first place, they were more than welcome to say that in my comment section. I know it's not a perfect solution, but it's the best one that works for the sake of the videos. I know that some people are now complaining that I am censoring usernames, which seems like no matter what I do, people are going to complain, so might as well take the safer route, I guess. But yeah, to answer that question, that's why I censor usernames. One person had to ruin it for everyone. But with that out of the way, let's talk about what was actually addressed by Ninjago series head writer Doc Wyatt over on Twitter involving Lord Ras and his tribe that we saw a glimpse of in Season 2 Part 2. And we actually have a couple of questions that make up this overall bulky answer. The first question here is as follows. Does the scene in which the five talk to Ras's ancestor mean that Ras is the last of his kind? Doc Wyatt replies, no, this scene is not meant to give you any direct information about Ras. Ras might or might not be the last of his kind, but that is unrelated to this scene as it takes place before Ras was born. Yeah, so the scene in which this question is talking about is this one right here that we saw from Season 2 Part 2, which is a flashback featuring the Forbidden Five in the wilderness having just decimated a huge tribe of these humanoid tigers, which of course Lord Ras is a part of. However, this tribe, if you will, is not the same one that Lord Ras belonged to, as Lord Ras was not born just yet, which would make sense considering the Ninjago timeline and how long the Forbidden Five had been banished to Netherspace. Again, the timeline for this never really made much sense in the context of Lord Ras, but this is definitely not like his dad or something like that. This is probably his great-great-great-grandfather or something similar, just a distant ancestor. Another question that followed this was, Ras's ancestor was the last survivor of the Five's attack on his tribe. Does that mean that Lord Ras is the last of his kind in the present day? We pretty much already talked about this, but Doc Wyatt reveals here, Zarkar was not the last survivor. He was taken captive. Ras was not born yet. Yeah, so just casually revealing the name of this character that Season 2 Part 2 neglected to tell us. Now, the Ninjago wiki for the longest time just referred to this guy as Ras's ancestor. Now he actually has a proper name, Zarkar, or Zarkar? Not really sure how to pronounce that name. I'm just going to call him Zarkar. But overall, that is a pretty big drop just to, do casually over on Twitter. We just talked about recently how Aaron's parents have names, but obviously Doc Wyatt cannot reveal that on Twitter. But I guess this guy won't have anything else involving Ninjago Dragons Rising. At least he won't be a part of the storyline anytime soon, because this guy we can just randomly drop his name on Twitter no questions asked. But this guy is now known officially as Zarkar. I think that's a pretty cool name. Not really sure what it means though, but I could totally see it, I guess. I know some folks have been saying that this does kind of throw off the Chima name scheme, if you will, of every single tribe from Chima being made up of characters whose name starts with the letter of the animal that they are supposed to be. For example, Laval is a lion, Krager is a crocodile, Zarkar is a tiger. Kind of throws it off there. And also with Lord Ras, I mean, his name never really fit either. Tiger starts with a T, Ras starts with an R, unless Ras is like his last name or something. Who knows? Crazier things have happened, and maybe that's the case for Zarkar here. But long story short, this guy's name is officially Zarkar. Another question is, the scene with Ras's ancestor and the five happened thousands of years ago, so does that mean that Lord Ras is the last of his kind? Again, we've pretty much already touched on that. Doc Wyatt says Lord Ras's people did not die out in this conflict, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, so Lord Ras is definitely not the last humanoid tiger out there. There could still very well be others out there as well, and I imagine there probably are. We haven't seen a lot of them so far. We've only seen Lord Ras, but there are other tigers from the wildness, right? We saw that in the Legends of Chima series. Of course, they are not the same tiger that Lord Ras is. They are kind of different tigers, I suppose, but still, I don't think that Lord Ras is the last humanoid tiger out there. I feel like we might see another one later on. Definitely not Zarkar, because again, he's probably been dead for thousands of years, and even though their tribe might have been primarily wiped out during this flashback with the Forbidden Five, that doesn't mean that all tigers were wiped out. It doesn't mean that the entire species went extinct, just this particular tribe. So there could be others out there. I reckon that there probably are. And finally, the last question here involving this entire subject is, does Lord Ras remember his parents, or does he have no memories of his childhood? To which Doc Wyatt replies, you'll find out. Yeah, so I guess the closest thing that we have right now to a childhood memory for Lord Ras is what we saw at the end of Season 2, Part 1, where he has a flashback of him meeting his master for the very first time. And I can see why some folks might have been confused here because, again, he is just by himself. If you were to line this up with the flashback scene that we saw featuring the Forbidden Five, you could see these two scenes as being connected. Lord Ras's tribe was decimated by the Forbidden Five, but he managed to escape. Zarkar got captured, but Lord Ras escaped. That's not the case anymore. We speculated before that it could be. It's definitely not because of the timeline, with that scene taking place thousands of years in the past, and Lord Ras not even being born yet. This scene right here is something else altogether. The flashback with him meeting his master for the first time as he is alone in the wildness. That will definitely come into play later, I imagine, and we will find out what exactly happened to the rest of his tribe in the modern day. Maybe they abandoned him, maybe there is another force that drove the tribe apart, but he got left behind, possibly. I'm sure we will figure that out, but overall, Lord Ras's childhood definitely will be touched on in the future, and I think that's a very good thing. We need as much lore for this character as possible, and as much backstory to make his character all the more deep. But overall, guys, that'll pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here. Just wanted to make a quick video talking about all of the stuff that was just revealed involving Lord Ras and his ancestor, who we officially know is called Zarkar now. Again, hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. It sounds like the future of Ninjago Dragons Rising will be very rich and very deep, involving Lord Ras as a character and his species. Maybe Dragons Rising Season 3 will touch on that, maybe future seasons will, as it does seem like the Ninjago Dragons Rising team is kind of brewing something here, involving Lord Ras and his ancestor, and where exactly the tribe is nowadays. You know, following all the conflicts with the Forbidden Five, or whatever else happened to Lord Ras when he was a child. But overall, that'll pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here. Leave all of your thoughts down below in the comments. What exactly do you think about all of this? And hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you guys did enjoy this one, feel free to like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I will talk to you guys again very, very soon. Peace.